Hearing none, seeing none. Awesome. We're moving on. So no more notes from me other than I'm wearing a Caillou shirt today, so I hope you all respect and love that. All right. That being said, end of the year celebration. This is Executive Vice President Wright and Vice President Morris who requested this, so I will open it up to them. Was this them?
What's up, peeps?
There we go.
Hope everybody's doing well and having a Bronco-tastic Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. Actually, a little bit more than halfway because Wednesday is almost over. So, unfortunately, my week is just starting because I have to work this weekend. But I hope you all are doing well. Alexis and I wanted to just give you guys a brief update on where we are with planning end of the year celebration stuff and take some time out of the meeting to fill out the survey that I just dropped in the chat. So if everybody could pull that up and do it now so you don't have to worry about it later, we would really appreciate that. It's a nomination form for the end of the year awards for our end of the year ceremony, so please fill that out. It's a form asking for your name, your position, so make sure you select the appropriate position so the survey can accurately collect your results. It'll also have t-shirt size. Be sure to put your t-shirt size. Yeah.
It's not open for them.
Interesting.
Tested this last night at like 12:30, so it was open at some point.
It was open at some point. Let's see. What about now?
Open for me.
Yeah, it works fine now.
Fantastic. Something must have happened with the time zone. But yeah, name, position, t-shirt size. So make sure you give us a good t-shirt size for you, and then your shipping address, wherever you're gonna be at around mid-April, so we can get your packages delivered to you. For Senator of the Year, pick your top 3. Representative of the Year, you guys do get to vote in that, so pick your top 5 since there's a bigger pool. Cabinet Member of the Year, pick your top 3. Cabinet, pick your top 3 as well. There's two different questions. So there's one for internal cabinet and one for legislative to pick for cabinet. Same thing for Event of the Year and Legislation of the Year is pick 5. So if you guys could take a moment and do that and ask me any questions if you have those now, that would be great. And Alexis, if you want to chime in with anything.
I have a quick question. Do you want us to, give out, and I don't know, I was filling it out as you were talking, so I kind of zoned out, but do you want us to fill out even like I'm a senator for the House on here too, or just skip that?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
So like it's giving me options to choose like Representative of the Year too. Do I?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
If you've had any interactions with your fellow legislators, you do have the opportunity to vote for them. Alexis, were you going to chime in with something?
I was just going to say, fill it out. It'll be more advantageous for all of you because we have some really fun things planned for the package that'll be sent to you all. So Scobie and I are very excited about that.
Yeah. Got to reward you guys for all your hard work. All right. Is there any more questions? I'm not seeing any. All right. Excited to see who you guys put in the nominations. We'll send out another voting link probably next week's meeting, either at next week's meeting or at the joint legislature. And then from there, we'll go with putting packages together and sending them out. And you guys will find out. If you win, you'll probably find out a little earlier because you'll get something in the mail. You'll get an award in the mail with your package. But if you don't win, you'll figure out who the winners are on when we do the April joint session of the legislature. Senator Taylor. All right. I yield the floor.
Thank you. We'll move back. I'm filling out my thing now. I'm filling out my thing now. So I think everyone else should fill theirs out. Maybe not now because we're going back into it, but I'll stop filling mine out. We can go back into sharing my screen and moving on to our next agenda item, which is approval of the minutes. So do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Second, I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you. Is that a second I heard?
Second.
Yep. Consent?
Consent.
Opposition? Hearing and seeing none. Thank you. Approval of the agenda is next. Motion? Would somebody-
Motion to approve the agenda.
Thank you. Second? No one liked my agenda.
Second.
Thank you. Consent?
Consent.
Opposition? Hearing none, seeing none. Okay, moving on to our guest speakers. We are lucky to have the Provost Spot, Vice President Anderson, and Vice President Vanderclay here to talk on what I believe is tuition reconstruction. So I will open the floor to them.
Good afternoon, everybody. Can everybody hear me okay? Somebody? Nodding, yes, thank you. All I can hear are my dogs who are like going crazy in our basement. So I do apologize. They also want to be on the agenda. They're very busy, my dogs. So I see my dear colleagues, Vice President Vanderclay and Vice President Anderson. We're here today to talk about motion to add her dogs to the agenda. As long as I get a car, I'm down for that. I saw Henry was giving out Oprah style cars in the chat. So thanks, Henry, appreciate that. We're here this afternoon to talk to you about a student first tuition simplification strategy. So if it's okay with the group, I'd like to share my screen. Does that sound good? Am I able to do that in panelist?
Yes, you are.
Awesome. I'm going to try. I'm not as good with Zoom, so I'm going to apologize in advance. Oh, I think I'm going to try it. Here we go. No, I'm just going to go back to my desktop. Or should I just do that? Okay, I'm going to do the PowerPoint. Let's see if this works. I've never tried this. This is making me, can you see it? Yay! Okay, sorry, get really excited. I need to get out more clearly. Okay, so I'm joined today by my colleagues, and we're here to talk about the undergraduate tuition simplification strategy. And I will be managing the PowerPoint for my colleagues after my first two slides. So just let me know when to go for all of you. So the rate structures in our current tuition strategy are difficult to understand and different from our peers. And by peers, we're largely talking about other Michigan public institutions. And that makes really understanding our value difficult to compare. And so the strategy we want to talk about this afternoon is really a student first initiative to make costs easier to understand and anticipate, while also prioritizing both retention, that's first to second year retention, and graduation, so persistence to graduation, by encouraging our students to take full course loads. And by full course loads, we're talking about 12 to 15 hours. And this is a first step to really enable new financial aid strategies and a rate structure that benefits students and their families and is more comprehensible and predictable. Next slide for me. So just to let you know, when we talk about a complex rate structure, these are the current elements of our rate structure. Tuition and fees vary by course modality, and largely we're talking about main campus or hybrid classes, regional classes, or online classes. By residency status, and by that we're talking about in-state or resident, out-of-state, non-resident, international. And then we have a third component, lower and upper division courses. Right now, our main campus and regional site credit hours are assessed based on residency, again, non-resident or resident, in-state or out-of-state, and class level, upper and lower division. Online course credit hours, however, are assessed at a different rate that does not recognize residency or class level. However, online classes carry a $20 technology fee that is assessed per course, not per credit hour. And then a third actually fourth layer, is differential tuition that is assessed by 3 of our colleges, the College of Fine Arts, the College of Engineering and Applied Sciences, and the Hayworth College of Business. Differential tuition is assessed by credit hour in each of those 3 colleges.
Thanks, Jen. So Jen has kind of explained our current structure, but I know you all have experienced it. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the new structure that we're looking at. It will be a same rate schedule, whether you're taking a course in person on main campus, regional site, or if you're elected to take an online course. We're also looking at eliminating the enrollment fee and blending it into the tuition rate. You know, we know students and families don't like additional fees. Sometimes they come as nasty surprises. And it's also more difficult to determine what your total bill will be. We want to eliminate the $20 technology fee that Jen referenced, which is charged for an online course, not credit hour, but course. And we want to include all the credit hours that a student has registered in the flat rate corridor. The only exception would this be if you are enrolled in an online program. We have about 9 right now, and those would not apply under a flat rate corridor because market conditions and enrollment patterns are different for students who enroll on full online programs. But right now, many of you who might have taken a mixture of in-person classes on main campus and have picked up 1 or 2 online courses, you know that you don't immediately send the benefit of the flat rate if you're 12 credits or more, and instead you have to wait for adjustments to occur. So again, trying to make it easier, trying to make you know what your bill will be at the point of registration. There's also a legacy tuition rate that has been out there since prior to summer 1, 2017. And that was put in place for non-resident undergraduate students who were admitted prior to that session. And so, you know, if you're a non-resident student and you went out to the tuition and fees, not only do you have to look at non-resident rates, you have to look to see when you first were admitted and enrolled at WMU. We would like to eliminate that rate structure so that we just move towards one undergraduate non-resident rate schedule. Jen? And actually on that point, just on that point, it will be less money for the student, for the non-resident student, because the rates were higher pre-summer 1, 2017 than the current rate structure. So, you know, sorry, John. Okay, we're moving around. Okay, if you could do the next one. Thank you. So here would be charged the same tuition rate if you're taking the course on main campus, in person at regional sites, or if it's an online course. All your credit hours would be included in the flat rate corridor. You'd see it at the time you register for class, while maintaining your current student classifications for level and residency. So that means the resident, non-resident criteria still is in effect, and the lower upper level is also still in effect. As I stated before, programs that are 100% online are not included in the flat rate. And the changes we're suggesting here would align WMU with all the other publics in Michigan, who all assess tuition not dependent upon course modality, but the fact that if you're a student taking in-person and online courses and it's not an online program, each course is assessed at the same rate of tuition. And I think with that, I'm going to pass it over to Diane. Diane?
Yes. So I'm going to talk with you about the enrollment fee. You've already heard that the intent is to roll the enrollment fee into tuition, so it's not a standalone fee anymore. And I think that actually will be well received, because what we've heard over the years is students and parents do not like all these add-on fees. It just makes it very cumbersome to work your way through the bill and figure out what your actual cost is going to be. So we will be eliminating that as a standalone fee, but blending it in with tuition. And again, I think this has already been stated, but just to make sure you're clear, students taking main campus in-person or hybrid courses are assessed the enrollment fee. Currently, that's assessed either as a full-time or part-time fee. It will just be blended in with tuition, so it will not be, there will not be any differentiation as to full-time, part-time with this. The enrollment fee is a single fee that supports the health center, technology fee, auxiliary fees, the student recreation center, and infrastructure. So again, that fee will be blended in with tuition. Just a note, I know this is all about undergraduate tuition and fees, but graduate students will continue to be assessed the enrollment fee as a separate standalone fee. That was an agreement that was made with graduate students a year or two ago when the graduate student tuition fees changed. So they will continue along the same course that they're on now. Again, this $20 per course technology fee will no longer be assessed. It's just going away. And the legacy tuition rate for non-resident undergrad students admitted prior to summer 2017 will be eliminated. The student assessment fee and sustainability fees, we will continue to assess those to all students except those in those, I think, 7 or 8 fully online programs. So all students will be assessed those fees. They're currently assessed to undergrad students taking main campus in-person or hybrid credits. And you all know about that because you've seen a big dip in your student assessment fee dollars this year because of so many students being online only. Those student body imposed fees are voted on by students, and those dollars we consider separate, and they will continue to be collected. And graduate students, same as with the enrollment fee, they will continue to be assessed a student assessment fee and sustainability fee. So they will still have access to those graduate student fee dollars.
So I'm going to jump in on this one, Diane, just kind of giving you an idea. And I don't know if you've seen some of this information in the past, but it compares tuition and where WMU ranks as you look at the other publics. As you can see, we're 9th in the state for undergraduate tuition and fees. So well over half of the Michigan publics charge more than WMU. You kind of see that for the top 3. We do recognize that we have the largest dollar differential between the lower and upper level tuitions. I think at this point too, I just want to mention we are going through a process of selecting an outside consultant to look at our overall pricing strategy. And that would include looking at lower and upper level tuition and how it's assessed. And then we have undergraduates, and then we also to look at first-time ever students coming to WMU. So 10th for that compared to the 15. And if you look, the 10th is based on a state formula, but if you just went out as a prospective student and looked at individual rates posted on website, Grand Valley, Saginaw Valley, what you would see if you just looked at the dollar values, not the state calculation, WMU is 6. Excuse me. So with that, I think that concludes the formal presentation, and Jen, Diane, and I are here for questions and feedback and comments.
Vice President Theory.
I have 2 questions. I know you mentioned that the undergraduate out of state would become cheaper. So my first question is, would the undergraduate in-state become cheaper? And my second question is, it appears that the technology fee is no longer needed or something. And so I guess my question would be, and maybe this is kind of beating a dead horse a bit, but why was this fee not eliminated when we all went online in many cases without many other options, and a lot of expression was made that we didn't feel that this fee was necessary.
So I'm going to step in, and this is Jan, and the first question. And what is changing is for a very small number of non-resident students who were charged based on tuition rates that existed prior to 2017. So if you're looking at what the majority of the non-resident undergrad students are paying, this is a structure change. This does not change their rate. So it's not where resident undergrad students are being disadvantaged. This is a rate structure change. It does not imply what's happening with individual rates, whether going up or going down. So that was the first one. Did that answer the question?
It did, thank you.
Okay, and Jen, do you want to talk about the technology fee? And I might chime in on that one too.
Sure. So the technology fee there is part of the enrollment fee. There's a support for technology that is part of that enrollment fee that will be wrapped in to the tuition, as Diane was explaining and Jan was vice presidents were explaining. The $20 per course fee for technology that's currently charged for online courses is similar to the enrollment fee that will just kind of be wrapped into the tuition itself. And so that's an incredibly important fee because it helps pay for like it does for the technology fee and the enrollment fee. It helps pay for the many systems that are supporting online instruction. And that includes the Desire to Learn e-learning space. It includes all of the support that is required for faculty and students to engage with e-learning. So if you've ever contacted the Help Hub or you've had any trouble with technology, whether it's if you're on campus for an online course, we've had a lot of that, as well as off-campus students studying online courses. Those fees help pay for the infrastructure to support online learning, which is vast. And I can go into tons of detail, but I find that I over detail things. And so I will pause, let Jan jump in, and then answer specific questions, if that would be helpful, Henry. And I appreciate your questions.
I don't have anything to add, Jen.
That makes sense. I think it's just a little confusing when the word eliminated is used, because it implies that it's going away when in reality it's not going away. It's just becoming part of the tuition. So that makes sense. Thank you.
And I'll note that too, Henry, the word choice. Thank you. And I think that we had some lovely behavior here. Brian was going to go, or Eric was going to go, and then Eric deferred to Brian. Did I catch it? So I think if we wanted maybe then I'm sorry. It's probably not my meeting to manage. Sorry, Dakota.
No, go ahead. I mean, that's fine. Go ahead, Senator Taylor. You can go. No problem.
Thanks. Appreciate it. I'll be really quick. So I'm one of your 9 completely onlines. And question I had is about hybrid. So kind of looking at some of the other online programs across the country, not so much for us who are fully remote, but maybe people who live in the state at some point, they end up doing sort of a hybrid or hybrid-ish program. Is that going to be totally on the online, or once you start sort of blending the two, it looks like it could get a little bit fuzzy? How's that work?
So I was waiting to give my colleague Jen an opportunity, but I'll go first.
You want to,
and then
I can
Jen,
go
you can. Oh, go ahead if you want to go first.
You go.
Okay, I can't see your face, so I don't want to. So for the online programs, similar to what we're doing if you're not in online, there will be tuition rates established for the program. So again, doesn't matter what type of modality you have for the course, hybrid or online, you would be assessed the same rate based on the fact that you're in the online program.
Thank you.
Yep.
Vice President Effinger.
Thank you. I have a couple questions. First of all, will the PowerPoint presentation be available publicly after this meeting?
Okay, no one else is speaking up, so I will again. I need more picture frames here. Yeah, there's no reason why we can make it available to WSA so you can post it.
Thank you. Second question. You mentioned that there would be like, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that we were still keeping that upper level and lower level tuition rate. How would that be decided? Would that be by credit hour? I know earlier this year, WSA had a conversation and passed legislation trying to change that to 3,000, 4,000 level courses have that upper credit and 1,000, 2,000 don't, instead of doing it by credit hour. Was that taken into consideration at all?
So I'm going to address that one because, yes, we actually did look at it, and we looked at it at the time the recommendation resolution was passed, even before this tuition structure changes came under conversation. If we did it by course rather than cumulative credit hours that triggered the changeover between lower and upper, we would not be able to do the flat rate and give you the advantage between the 12 and 15 credit hours. And the reason for that is depending on your course mixture, there's no standard tuition rate. It would fluctuate for each and every student based on the courses they're enrolled in, and it would change every semester too. So we felt as we looked at it that the flat rate corridor was important because it does provide a financial incentive for students and gives them a break, and we don't want the students to lose that financial incentive.
Wonderful, thank you. And then one more quick question is, you mentioned that a lot of the fees would be lumped together into one enrollment fee. And it's like the Syracuse Health Center, everything else, I believe. That's what you said, I'm understanding that correctly. Will there be a breakdown of how much of that one fee is being administered to each different entity on the website, for example, or something?
We certainly can provide that because I think I mentioned it's the rec center, it's the health center, it's the technology, and there's a facilities fee in there too that supports the Bernhard Center and some of the other auxiliaries on campus. I think those are the four things. Am I missing one, Jan?
There's deferred maintenance too, but that fee's going away. So so that enrollment fee has been in place for a number of years. So what we're talking about is eliminating it, just like the $20 course fee for technology if it's online, and just blending it in with the tuition rate. So, but we can go back through and indicate for the existing enrollment fee how it's currently allocated out to various areas at Western.
Would be very beneficial. Thank you very much.
Have we any more questions? If I missed anyone, please speak up. But from the looks of it, I don't. Oh, okay. Executive Vice President Wright and Vice President Charter Harris. Whoever wants to go first.
Hey guys, before we start, I just want to make sure there's no more senators that want to go. I'll pause for a brief 10 seconds. I think 8 seconds is the number, right? Where it gets weird. But we'll go ahead. Go ahead. Okay. My first question is, are you able to provide a total estimated cost for tuition now, and then what a total estimated cost will look like once this change is implemented for like a freshman per se?
No, and the reason being is because we are not in a position yet to look at what a rate increase would be for 21, 22, or whether we're going to stay flat. So it's very early. We probably won't be beginning to have that conversation till May or June. So we're not able to at this point in time.
Without a rate increase, would it look exactly the same?
So what we would have to do is, the same can be interpreted a lot of different ways. If we're blending in the enrollment fee, it's going to change the per credit hour rate. And so it does not look the same. But when we're blending in the enrollment fee, we're doing it in such a way we're not blending it in to end up with more money. We're trying to keep it flat for everybody. Does that help address your question, Jacoby?
Yeah, I think so. Thank you. Secondly, so we're basically generalizing the fee versus in person for regional or main campus and online. I'm anticipating that that's going to cause some type of loss. How are we compensating for the loss, or is there a loss?
So as we're looking at blending the fees and that we're looking at the current rate structure, we're looking to just keep it neutral, revenue neutral. So no loss, no revenue type thing.
Okay. Yeah. I think that answers. I appreciate it.
Okay. I'm not sure if you had a follow up on the other, let me know later. You know how to reach me. So, okay.
Hi, thank you guys. First of all, thank you guys for being here and presenting and taking our questions. It's greatly appreciated. My question is, when you guys were explaining the flat rate corridor, is that what changes are coming to that and what is staying the same? If you guys could speak on that, I just got a little confused there.
Okay. So, Jen, go ahead.
No, I just don't want you to be on the island. So I was joining you on the island.
Go ahead.
So the flat rate corridor exists right now. It exists depending on the types of courses that you take within a program. And so what we're doing is the flat rate exists for 12 to 15 hours. And so what happened is, let me take you back and then I'll bring you forward. So in fall of 19, most students were taking 95% of their classes were 98% of their classes were on main campus, right? Most of our students are enrolled in face-to-face courses. In fall of 20, our flat rate didn't apply to online courses, regardless of the type of program. And so we had to adjust the flat rate to give students the flat rate in fall of 20 and spring of 21. And so now what we're saying is the program, except for online only programs, all students, the main campus programs will have that 12 to 15 hour flat rate corridor. And so it was a problem we didn't anticipate because most of our classes were offered face-to-face. And so this allows for the flat rate corridor to capture online courses if they're part of not online only programs. So hopefully I took you back, brought you forward, and answered your question. Jan, did you have any more to add to that? And hopefully, Nate, I answered your question, or I hopefully didn't leave you in fall of 19.
You did. That was very well explained. Thank you. I think I get it now. Appreciate it. Yep.
All right. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate it.
There's a question from Emma. I think.
I'm so sorry. I can't get my hand to go down. That was an accident. Thank you.
Emma, we'll just take that as a high five. So thank you. That was like a high five, not a question.
It looks like Senator Busal Chetri is asking if they could get access to your presentation, like you could email perhaps, or we could send it out to everyone, if that's possible.
Yeah, we're happy to do that.
Thank you so much. With that, I don't see any more questions. So we'll call that a wrap. Thank you all, the three of you, for coming. We do appreciate you sharing this with us. Yeah, I mean, really, it's thank you. Thank you. And you all have
Good
a
rest of meeting.
yes. You all have a good day.
Good to see you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. With that said, let us move on to our next agenda item, which is unfinished business. And guess what? We've got none of that. So we're moving into committee breakouts, back to regular committee breakouts. I don't forget what the normal time is. What, 10, 15 minutes is normal? 15 minutes? 15-minute committee breakouts? Yeah, whatever Jacoby said. So yeah, we're moving into that, everyone.